And this is Tommaso Ciampa, Project Ciampa. You're listening to WNS Podcast.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Hebert, and Doug.
That's right, I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Hebert.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 126 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, on iTunes, WrestlingNewsSource.com, or Wrestling News Source Podcast, and newly added on Stitcher by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Yay. Hey, we're also on Stitcher.
Yeah.
We're on Stitcher.
I'll stitch them up. If you want to follow us on Twitter, is at WNS Podcast. For the main site, WNS Source.
Or
hey,
on Stitcher.
We're also on Stitcher. If you're listening to us through Stitcher, please leave a review or a thumbs up or whatever they do over there.
Thumbs up and recommendation and plug us
stuff
through your social media outlets of all kinds. So we would certainly appreciate it. I know Doug and Tyler would love it. Tyler would be very happy. We're in our maroon shirts today.
Yeah, so. Tell the world, or tell the people of Stitcher what's up.
Yeah, by telling us what's up. Mm-hmm. Not like our truth what's up, but
tell
like
everybody on Stitcher that WNS Podcast is where it's at.
That is, yes. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about this week. We're going to cover...
Don't lie to them. Just give it a thumbs up or whatever the fuck it
Yeah, you can do that too. So, I mean, it's fine. So welcome to the show. Like I said, we have a lot to cover. We're going to cover... talk a little bit about Slammiversary. You're going to cover Raw. Got plenty of hot topics to discuss. We're also going to be interviewing Reality of Wrestling from Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, Kelly Kevin. So he will be joining us on the show later on. We also got some Q&A to get into. But first, we're going to go into an iTunes review that we actually have. First one we've had in a while, actually. It's from EDM Lifestyle, with the topic, yes, yes, yes. And it says, quote, I'm very happy that I discovered the WNS podcast. The opinions, debates, questions, and answers show a passion for the theater and athleticism of wrestling and the industry, a passion that I share and appreciate hearing. If you guys read this, here's a question comment I want to throw in. The Shield storyline introduces a somewhat omnipowerful... You all right there, Tyler?
Oh! You fucked that up, son.
You okay?
Toss me one. Wait.
You're trying to catch gummies in each other's mouths while we're doing an iTunes review. You better make it. Oh. Missed. It's right there. It's right there.
It's unprofessional.
So unprofessional. We apologize, EDM Lifestyle. At least
we're not really sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, we like gummies.
Okay, so, the Shield storyline introduces a somewhat omnipowerful faction for the first time since the new Nexus. To keep it short, I find myself loving their performance to the point where I despise them as characters, not performers. Who is the last superstar faction you have found getting under your skin or that you love to hate? Great podcast, gentlemen. First off, thank you very much for the review and for the 5 stars. We certainly do appreciate it. So,
thank you.
Yes. So, do you guys want to cover that now, or do you want to wait until the Q&A portion of the show?
I only want to talk about Chikara. I don't care about anything else.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll get to that a little bit later in the show, but does that mean you're pretty much just like out for today, or?
If you want to do a Chikara podcast with me, comment on the page. We'll start a Chikara podcast.
Well, are we still going to toss around the idea of doing a YouTube video for some of the wrestling fans? Are we still going to do that?
Oh, we can do that, I guess.
Okay, cool. I think we should. But it's just going to be a matter of when and how we're going to record it and all that. So maybe with Hebert's fancy new phone.
With that question, did he just say a stable or like a person?
With a powerful faction.
Oh, faction.
Yes. So... But yeah, let's go ahead and cover it because we do appreciate.
Thank you for the review. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So who was the last superstar or faction that got under your skin or that you love to hate?
I'm trying to think.
Cena is not an acceptable answer.
You can be a person.
A
No, a
person,
faction.
a superstar, or a faction.
Oh, superstar. If it's just superstar, I know someone on top of my head. JBL.
Yeah. Okay. He did a really good job of getting heat. How about you, Doug? Any person or group that you love to hate?
Why are you looking at me like that? I'm going Wink Vavasur, that bastard.
Well, there you go. All right, so I don't know who I have that I love to hate. Maybe for a while there, R-Truth, whenever he got the wrong name of the town that he was in, Green Bay, but they were in Milwaukee. It was just like everything he did was just like
Annoying.
I was just gonna bash him on it. I don't know.
Condor Security.
Yes.
Fuck those guys.
So there you go. Thank you for the question. We'll get to the other Q&As later on the show. But first, how you guys doing?
Doing good. Chewing on some gummies.
Yeah, you ate all the cherries.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
You were busy talking.
Yeah. Well, you were busy eating.
Yes.
Eating all the cherries, man.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to catch the bottles in your mouth and stuff.
Yeah.
No.
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I'm doing good, you know. Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Doug? Hanging in there?
Pretty bummed.
Pretty bummed. Why are you pretty bummed?
Just I guess if all this speculation and rumors are to be believed about Chikara, they're going on permanent or at least indefinite hiatus. And I'm pretty upset about that.
Sad times about that.
If it's true.
Rumors, of course, swirling around the internet. Chikara might be done. So, I mean, you want to talk a little bit about that, or?
I mean,
because that was something that we had in Hot Topics that Chikara is rumored to be seemingly shutting down, but you just never know.
I mean, whatever. I mean, we could talk about it then or not at all. I mean, it's hard to talk about it unless you're following it closely, and if you are following it closely, you're like going just as nuts as anyone else. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to talk about.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to talk a little bit about Slammiversary. We got to catch that this past weekend. Tyler was kind enough to order it for us. I wasn't able to catch all of it as I was at work, but
I forgot when you came in. Third match, maybe?
something like that. Yeah. But we did get to see it. Overall thoughts, I thought at least from what I saw, I thought the pay-per-view was pretty good. They had some really strong matches. They had, Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles, Gail Kim versus Tarantino, and Sting versus Bully Ray. And they had the elimination tag team match as well. So all in all, from what I saw, I thought the pay-per-view was pretty good. But what did you guys think about it?
Yeah, it was good from what I saw, but also, I am behind when it comes to TNA. I'll catch it, here and there. So I'm asking Doug questions about certain characters like the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it though, and just to I don't know how long he's been back, but I want to point out the first match for the X Division title. It was Chris Sabin versus Kenny King versus Suicide. I think they have different people who play Suicide each time, but I'm gonna be honest. That was a stupid idea. Create a character in a video game, then after that, bring them into real life wrestling, or just bring them into wrestling after you create them in the video game.
Okay,
I feel that's weird.
It's weird. Shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, all in all, I felt it was all right. The pay-per-view.
Okay. How about you, Doug?
We're talking. You mean about Suicide or in general about the pay-per-view?
We can discuss Suicide first, and then we can dive into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, Suicide's dumb.
Okay. How about the pay-per-view?
Gonna be honest with you. I mean, it was completely fine, but my heart wasn't in it. I watched about I watched about 10 consecutive hours of pro wrestling Sunday.
His heart is where Chikara was.
Yeah, I watched, and I know this is kind of annoying, and I don't want to be the guy who's like, blah, blah, blah. Well, I watched about 10 hours of pro wrestling total. Almost 10 hours. The only time in that 10 hours I wasn't watching pro wrestling is when I took a shower and drove to Tyler's house to watch the TNA pay-per-view, which I missed the
kitchen to
first.
grab a slice of pizza.
Yeah, and that kind of shit. But I had watched Anniversario Never Compromise before the TNA pay-per-view, and that's just where my head was at, thinking about like all that shit. And the TNA pay-per-view seemed fine, but it was kind of like a backdrop to what I was thinking about it, and obsessively looking on the internet for rumors and theories and shit like that.
Okay.
Just to be honest.
Just to mention, because we didn't say nothing about it, but Kurt Angle getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Kurt Angle, the next TNA Hall of Fame inductee. Yeah, everyone.
Which does make sense, but you know, what Doug was calling Jarrett, and also what Kurt Angle said, that we expect AJ Styles, the one of the original of TNA. So
yeah,
it does make sense, because I mean, who else could they put in there? Like Sting makes sense, Kurt Angle makes sense, Jarrett would make sense, Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles.
But AJ Styles still has, quite a few years left on his career.
Well, I mean, so far the people they have in the Hall of Fame are still on the roster wrestling.
Yeah.
So,
but you could say that Sting's on the twilight end of his career. Kurt Angle, the same.
well, any calls? I mean, put someone in the TNA Hall of Fame would make sense. I understand Kurt Angle and Sting though, but like, I say AJ because he's like not the founder, who helped build.
Yeah.
And he has a long way to go. I mean,
He's a TNA guy. A lot of their guys, like, if they're worthy enough to go into the Hall of Fame, which is kind of a weird thing to say in general, and they're probably aren't like a TNA guy. There are a handful of TNA guys, and I guess Angle can pass for one because he's been there since he left, and he's been there long enough to feel like a TNA guy. But they don't have very many of those guys with illustrious enough careers and guys who are TNA guys.
And also what you said, though, maybe also Jeff Jarrett's father.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry.
So.
Dixie Carter.
But yeah, I mean, smart move to put Kurt Angle into the Hall of Fame. He's done a lot for the company, as far as, having one of those big names come into the company. And Tyler, like you said, whenever they showed the video package of Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle, the headbutt heard around the world, you said that was one of those, like, oh my God, this is great stuff,
Yeah. That's exciting.
That's not what we said. You're being kind.
Okay. Well, Tyler,
What was it?
We said that was the last cool thing that happened.
Cool thing they did.
I was just trying to word it right. You never know who's listening. So,
Which that moment was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so, congratulations to Kurt Angle. It's definitely well deserved. I'm sure a lot of fans are still hoping that he goes back to the WWE and, goes in the Hall of Fame there. But if he doesn't, hey, at least he's being recognized and is going to be in a Hall of Fame.
Because until he leaves TNA or goes to WWE or retires from wrestling and leaves TNA, he's not going to the Hall of Fame until he leaves TNA.
Yeah. So
For sure.
He'll sign like a one-day contract or something with WWE and make an appearance on Raw and be like, "Oh, hey, guess what? I'm gonna be in the Hall of Fame." But yeah. So congrats to Kurt Angle and look forward to that. He actually was in a match against AJ Styles during Slammiversary, and they put on a pretty solid matchup, I would say.
Yeah.
A lot of back and forth action, good action. What did you think about it, Doug?
I mean, I pretty much said what I had to say about the pay-per-view in its entirety. It was completely fine. I didn't have any major problems, but my heart wasn't in it.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just kind of just touch up a little bit, but yeah, it was a good matchup between the two. I think the match in the night went to Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell. Is that how you pronounce it right?
Tiffany.
I took some big ass bumps.
Yeah. They went out and and put on one heck of a show with the last knockout standing. The first of its kind, and man, they set the bar pretty high.
It was good to see it. That was a good match. But one thing that was weird, and I don't know the full details because, like I said, I haven't watched it on and off. Slammiversary, that's their big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Where's the champion, Mickey James?
Bound for Glory is their big pay-per-view.
Oh, Bound for Glory. Okay.
Well, I thought that Slammiversary was one of their big ones.
One of their biggers, but Bound for Glory is like their
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
I forgot Bound for Glory is. Yeah.
I mean,
But still,
if you're singling out a pay-per-view is Bound for Glory, but Slammiversary is one of their bigger ones.
it's like SummerSlam.
There you go. But yeah,
Sorry, I know I'm. Some people are like, oh, this guy's a dumbass. Don't know his TNA.
Hey, we never claim to know everything.
Well,
so
yeah, I know, but still,
we're just a couple guys talking about wrestling.
Yeah,
that's the good thing about it. But yeah. So these two ladies went out and they set the bar pretty high on if there's ever going to be another last knockout standing.
Like you don't want to mess with Terrell because she beat her husband's ass.
And I like the bump that they did. Whenever they went onto the rampway. Where Taryn took Gail and did like the
bulldog.
Yeah, it was a bulldog onto the floor mats, and that's how she ended up picking the victory. But there were a lot of good spots in this one. The figure four using the post, throwing Gail Kim into the chair and out to the outside of the ring. These ladies went out and put on a pretty good show. So, that's how it goes. ODB was the special guest referee, and pretty enjoyable match. So go check it out if you get the chance. And the main event was Bully Ray going up against Sting. The stipulation is Sting does not become victorious, and he can no longer challenge for the title anymore. And it was a no disqualification, and Sting came up a little bit short on that one. But
it was no. Let me point something out. It was no DQ. And a bunch of people in Aces and Eights have already been in the ring because you couldn't be disqualified. Why did Anderson toss it and then hide behind the ring steps as to not be seen?
Maybe that's like just a thing they get used to or something because that's what people. I don't know.
Maybe he didn't want Sting to think he was the guy who threw it in. I don't know.
I don't know.
We're best buddies.
Maybe he just didn't want his ass whooped from Sting because.
Yeah.
It was Bischoff, dude. It was Bischoff.
Bischoff blaming on Garrett.
It was someone else, man.
But why he hid behind the ring steps after the entire gang had already been in the ring?
Yeah. And where were Sting's buddies?
Totally weird.
Where were Sting's buddies? He had no friends that night, apparently.
Yeah, right.
So,
his buddy is the baseball bat.
Yeah. But man, Sting, for his age, he took some pretty hard bumps. That power bomb through the table, Bully just sent him flying through it. Like he went down with force. I liked the idea of exposing the ring mat to the bare wood and using the pile driver for that. But it's kind of like, suspending your disbelief a little bit too much that Sting just kicked out of it after receiving the pile driver onto the hard wood instead of just the mat. But it is what it is. But yeah, so Bully Ray's still the champion and. Still the leader of Aces and Eights.
Something I want to point out that
still in love with Brooke Hogan.
Still in love with Brooke. Yeah, why was she there?
Well, something I want to point out that was. Sorry, I'm going back earlier in the night.
That's fine.
When was it? Hulk Hogan came out.
Dude, what happened? He went total potty mouth.
Yeah, the whole time. Call Ace and Eights. What? Okay.
He called him. He said 3 pussies in leather, and then he said he called.
He flipped him off.
And he flipped him off, and he said that Bischoff's old man was a bitch, and so was he.
Yeah.
Oh, class act that Hulk Hogan right there. So not too bad of a pay-per-view if you get the chance. Check it out.
He flipped him off with the good hand, I guess.
Yeah.
He couldn't see the other one.
It would have been worse to do it with the burnt hand. It hurts, but
oh man, if you haven't seen a picture of that, look it up.
No, don't look it up. Don't do that. Save yourself.
When you see the puffiness and then what they did to it afterwards, and they popped it and all that shit.
All the skin is missing and everything. And just nasty. But going on into Raw, kick things off with the return of Stephanie McMahon. She's in the ring saying that Triple H was scheduled to be up in a match, but she and the board of directors, whatever, decided that would not be in the best interest, so he's not going to wrestle. And Vince McMahon comes out as well and agrees that he's not going to be wrestling. And, hey, this is family entertainment. It's not a blood sport. What do you people want? And it's all kind of craziness.
If I saw it correctly, did like the Shield came out, like they went to a commercial or something?
Yeah.
And then when they came back, the McMahons were not in the ring, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I saw that right then. I was like,
and they even talked about that. If you were watching on our app, you saw that they allowed Vince and Stephanie to calmly leave without any repercussions. So they were given a free pass
on the WWE app.
No. So
this was super interesting. Not because it necessarily came off all that well, just because of the weird dynamic. Anybody else who cuts this promo, it's a complete babyface promo, and it's just someone who's doing whatever it is they have to do to protect a loved one. But the McMahons cut this promo. Well, anybody else would have been a babyface promo, and the crowd would have been heels. But since it's the McMahons that cut this promo, it came off totally like weird and false because it's like diametrically opposed to any way any McMahon has ever acted.
Yeah.
Because they're always like business first and weakness is bullshit and like and now they pull this and they're like we're just trying to look out for the best. It didn't come off as a babyface promo. We're trying to protect someone we love. It came off as them taunting the crowd, saying you're not going to get a match that you want to see, and the crowd was. It was just weird. It was like Bizarro Land because anybody else who cuts this promo, they're a babyface, even though it would be like using your power for nepotism to like protect a member of your family. It would still be a babyface move because it was just you trying to protect a loved one. But since it was the McMahons, it made them like total heels because McMahons don't act that way. McMahons have never acted that way.
Yeah. And Vince was totally playing the crowd with like, hey, don't boo my daughter.
Right.
Bah, you know. What do you want from him?
So it was it's way more interesting if like you think about the dynamic than what actually played out, just because of who it was and what kind of reaction they got because of it.
Yeah, very odd.
It was almost like they were like the McMahons are weird because it's almost like they're caricatures of themselves at this point because even the way Vince has always had the Vince walk, but it's kind of like when people like started talking about the Vince walk, he became so self-aware that he like does it even more elaborately now. Yeah. It's just like they're just
much more animated.
Yeah, they're just like, but he always had a weird walk like that. But when people talk about it,
here comes that Vince McMahon strut, and it's like, well, I'm just gonna flap my arms around.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like caricatures of themselves at this point. Like I don't know how that was supposed to be, how that was intended to be received, but. It would be really weird if they intended to come off as heels because Vince was even a dick later in the show. But it's just weird. Like if Trips is supposed to be the babyface, then this is a weird choice for promo. And it's a weird. I just don't get it. It was super interesting. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it works. You know, it can be interesting and not work at the same time.
And they said that backstage, Vince told the creative writers to rewrite the entire show. So I don't know what they had planned for that night, but they went out and did that. But you know the first after this, you know, Raw really picked up for a while because we got to see.
I don't think this was bad TV though. I mean, it didn't work, but it didn't cease to like fascinate me just because even if it didn't work, it was just weird. You guys didn't get like a weird feeling from it? Like the crowd was booing the fuck out of them and chanting for Triple H. Because they were denied a match, but if it was anybody else, this is a babyface promo.
Like, oh, okay.
Do you not? I mean, do you guys disagree? If it's anybody else, this is a babyface promo.
Yeah, they could have had like if Shawn Michaels would have delivered that and said, "Look, man, we need to look out for this guy because he's not doing too well. I know you guys want to see him, but we also have to think about his safety and his health and stuff like that." People probably would have applauded that.
Do you guys also agree or disagree that? It's just because of the McMahons and their past, how McMahons have always acted that it made them come off like huge douches.
Absolutely.
Because McMahons have never acted that way.
No.
Right.
They're plotting something.
Even when McMahons are like quote unquote baby faces, I guess like they're here now, they're still dickheads.
Yeah.
I mean,
much.
That's just how they've been. It's just they've been embedded into our brains as
The McMahons cannot change.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
just-
but they didn't even. It came off fake as fuck. It wasn't like a sincere like thing. It just felt like they were like egging the crowd on.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they were doing. Like whenever he was like, "Oh, this isn't a blood sport," and all the older fans started booing because.
But don't you think that's a weird choice? Like Triple H is supposed to be a babyface, and he's supposed to be the sympathetic figure who's fighting through a concussion to compete and get revenge against a guy who took advantage of him having a concussion.
Yeah.
So, what isn't this a weird choice to have them come out and act kind of like dickheads, even though, I don't understand.
They even said it like, he's a father and he has kids, and they're doing it for that. No, it felt weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we can kind of skip ahead and lump this in together where Trips was leaving the arena and he tossed his bag in.
Yeah.
He was like calling Vince a bastard, and he's like, "Oh, I'm doing this for you. I didn't beat that old man's ass," and like all that stuff. It's just like it's just a weird dynamic. Like I don't understand what that accomplished.
It's kind of like there's a hidden agenda to it. They're like, they come out and they're putting on a front saying, "Oh, we're just looking out for him. We just want him to be safe." And he's coming out going, "Look, I want to fight, and y'all are trying to hold me back."
I'm medically cleared.
Yeah,
Or
medically
eventually,
cleared.
it's
I'm good to
like,
go.
what if like Vince and like Stephanie are like, "It's time for you to stop wrestling."
I feel like that's where it's gonna build towards. Like they're gonna try and.
But they could have done that they could have done a better job of conveying that sincerely and having the crowd get behind them and be like, "Yeah, they're just trying to protect the man that they love."
Yeah.
But they came out where they were like they were kind of like dicks about it. Like they kind of did it in a backhanded way where they said the right things. It's kind of like when an asshole says the correct thing you're supposed to say, but says it in a tone and in a way that makes you know that they're just being a dick. Even that's what they did.
I
right?
really love that tie.
Yeah, I mean, like they could have done it, but if that's the end goal of this, they could have came out and done it. Maybe they are that shitty of actors. I don't know, but they could have done a better
All
job
these years
of being
in front of the
sincere.
camera, still can't get it right.
At the end of the show's like, it came off like we're dicks.
Wouldn't it have? But it would have accomplished more, or at least it would have took steps to accomplishing that end goal. This is weird. I don't understand this.
See where it goes from there.
So weird, but I don't know. Let us know what you think on our Facebook page. But like we said earlier, the Shield came down because they had a match against Team Hell No and Randy Orton. And man, you want to talk about on fire? We've said this for the past few weeks now, going on maybe a month or so. Hell No versus the Shield. Daniel Bryan getting in that ring and just the roof
fire
is coming off. He is on fire. Yeah. Just taking it to another level, just loving it, and great matchup. And once again, like I feel bad because like we've talked so much good about it that like anything we're doing now is just like copy and paste. Like these guys are doing like such a good job. They're the best things going on Raw right now.
It seemed like, to me, this was Daniel Bryan night.
Oh yeah, Daniel Bryan and Triple H were the main focus of attention on this. But yeah, Daniel Bryan definitely stole the show. But what did you think about the matchup?
Well, I know from what I can remember, I did enjoy it, and like I said, Daniel Bryan was on fire, and the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bad about them, man. They're great too.
Okay, how about you, Doug?
Look, the last thing anybody that's listened to this show for any substantial amount of time needs is me like praising Daniel Bryan more. They all know
What's
that.
you gonna think about Daniel Bryan this week?
Doug's the fanboy.
I mean, like it was a good match. Surprise, it was a good match. With what?
Tyler wants gum.
Here. I said a while back about how I felt like Daniel Bryan's your true number 2 babyface.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're heading in that direction.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that Bryan would surpass Cena as the number 1 face ever. But he can make a damn fine number 2 babyface.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He could be he could put the company on his back. I truly believe that and be a top babyface. But I just don't think he'll ever surpass Cena. Like, he's been doing it for too long as that guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna say that if they bring Punk back as a face, I could even see Punk. He would probably step right back in the number 2 face spot. But right now, Daniel Bryan is, for all intents and purposes, the number 2 face in the company.
Yeah.
He's hotter than Orton. He's hotter than Sheamus. And that's evident by a very interesting thing in this match is Daniel Bryan in the past, and even up to very recent history, he would have been the guy selling in the heat segment for the Shield. But in this match, they were smart enough and realized how hot Bryan is and how hard they're going to push him. Randy Orton was the guy selling and taking the Shield's heat segment, and Bryan took the hot tag and cleaned house.
Absolutely.
Last month, that would have been Randy Orton taking that hot tag and cleaning house, and Bryan would have been the guy selling for the Shield the whole time. So it's like, that's the interesting. Yes, it was a good match, but that's the standout interesting thing about the match to me.
That's the thing to pay attention to.
Right. And I think that's the sea change, right?
Right.
That's the sea change. And hey, come on, man. I already talked about this, and you don't need me praising Bryan anymore, but he's the number 2 face in the company.
Yeah, definitely. And with the way that Sheamus has been right now, like, he's good guy doing bad guy things and getting away with it, but the fans still like him. But Sheamus is
a fine worker, but he's got a lot of character flaws.
Yeah, but you listen to the ovation that you get for Randy Orton. It's a big first pop, and then it kind of just dies out throughout the match. Sheamus gets a good pop. Well, yeah, it's pretty good during the matchup. Daniel Bryan, huge pop, huge chance during the matchups.
Well, Randy Orton or Sheamus, they don't have like a special chant that just chant through the whole match that I know of, right?
I mean, you can chant RKO or you can chant Sheamus, let's go Sheamus or something like that.
I don't think that's the important thing to be looking for, though. I think the important thing to look at is
the fans going.
If the fans were that interested, they would chant something.
Yeah,
the whole time.
They would give some sort of reaction, whereas Daniel Bryan is getting reaction even when he's not in the ring.
It's not what they say, it's how they say it and when they say it.
Yeah. So, just a great showing. You can't overlook the Shield. They've done their job to a T, just as much as Daniel Bryan has. Just really good stuff. Shield ended up getting the victory after, you have the traditional breakdown in the ring where Kane hits the chokeslam and everyone starts hitting finishers, but Orton ends up getting thrown into Daniel Bryan. That ends up costing them the match with Dean Ambrose getting the pin. And backstage, there was a segment showing Daniel Bryan just completely furious, and Kane and Orton are trying to talk some sense into him, and Daniel Bryan's just not having it. So I have to agree with what JBL said, like this, or what he called the inferiority complex, making Daniel Bryan feel like he's the weak link. This has become like the best thing for him right now because it's turned him up to a whole new level. And I don't know who came up with this idea, but I'm loving it. I'm curious to see where they're going to take it.
Mm-hmm. So, eventually get him out from Hell No.
Yeah, you can sense the split coming
up.
Yeah. So, like Doug said, definitely going to be a number 2 babyface here in the near future. So, just be on the lookout for that. If you're not a believer of Daniel Bryan by now, I don't know what it's going to take. But yeah, just be on the lookout. But next up, we did get to see Triple H arrive and, stared down Vince and basically said, I'm going to go and wrestle. No one's going to be able to stop me. And, Vince looked pissed off for some reason about it because he's looking out for his safety. But, it is what it is. So that storyline will continue through next week. Obviously, one thing we did get to see, the Usos. We got to see them in a competition going up against the Primetime Players. I was a little shocked to see them on TV, but I'm glad that I did. I like the chant that they did. I'm glad that they're wearing like war paint, and they got the crowd going for them. So they end up defeating the Primetime Players. So we get to see 2 tag matches in a row. I mean, obviously the first one was a 3-on-3. This one's traditional tag match. But it looks like they might be giving Usos a little bit of a push. Maybe they could be a challenge to go up against the Shield. What do you guys think about this? Is it too soon to talk about like breathing a new life into the tag team division?
Yeah, it's definitely too soon for that. The match was good. I'm a fan of the Usos. I was not surprised to see them go over. With the Shield having the belts, you need a strong babyface team to challenge, so they got to build a babyface team. Usos are pretty much the only babyface team I can think of other than Tensai and Brodus. Got no problems with them going with the Usos over those guys, though. Yeah, it's definitely too soon to talk Renaissance period for the tag division. That was like a hot button topic like last year, and we talked about it a lot, and they gave it about a month, and they said, who gives a fuck?
Kind of just lost focus.
Yeah. Yeah, but the match was fine, and I was not surprised to see the Usos go over, and I didn't have a problem with it either.
Well, it was a report that they were going to repackage him or something like that, or like they're going to have a feud with was it
The
Primetime
Usos
Players?
repackage?
Yeah,
Not necessarily repackaged.
They don't need it. They don't need it.
but
Their
But like
entrance
the
would
war
get
paint,
over.
Yeah, the war paint and all that. That's sort of.
but
They've
was
added something
start
to
a
them.
feud or
Their entrance and when I say ooh, y'all say so's, and they do it during the match, they'll just say ooh, and then people if they're just on TV more consistently, that shit'll get over on its own.
Yeah, and it already has. You know, they've done it. You know, plenty of times. And I was explaining it as we were watching. I was just like, you know, this is a group that has a lot of talent. They've never really gotten that chance to go out. It's like every time you see them, it's like, oh yeah, we'll throw them in a lumberjack match. Oh yeah, we'll throw them. Oh, you know, we need an opening show or something for a main event, so we'll put them in a tag match or something. But you know, they've never really gotten that one big good push. Like whenever they first came in and Tamina was their valet, so to speak.
they got
they kind of got there
for a little bit, then
it was just like, no, we're going their separate ways. But
they need have a feud with Primetime Players.
yeah, and I mean you can even have them go up against the Rhodes Scholars for a little bit. You know, just something to say, hey, these guys are contenders, and they're going to be going up against the Shield coming up here in a little bit. But
are they getting? Did they get an official rematch? Did Hell No get an official rematch?
yeah, they ended up
lost
losing. You know,
Oh, that's where the I'm the weak link shit came from, right? Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So they don't. So Hell No doesn't have a match
right.
for the pay-per-view. How many weeks we got?
I don't know actually.
2.
I think so, somewhere around there.
Think Bryan's gonna get a singles match at the pay-per-view? You think they'll do Kane and Bryan at the pay-per-view?
I don't know. Maybe
I would love to see them just say we're not a team anymore, but we're still buddies for whatever fucked up reason. I want Kane and Bryan to just be buddies who quit.
Yeah.
Who quit tagging together.
To be honest, I don't see Daniel Bryan versus Kane at Payback, but I do see Daniel Bryan versus Orton at Payback. I could see that easier for some reason.
Huh.
And that would sort of decide like who would be turning heel here in the near future, because Orton wants to turn heel. It looks like they could go either way with Daniel Bryan. So
Bryan's a babyface. He's got a Napoleon complex, but he's a babyface.
Came out with the yes chance for his second match. I was definitely digging that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I could see that more than I could see Kane versus Daniel Bryan.
He's just pissed off, and like he has a like you said, an inferiority complex.
Mm-hmm.
He's not being a heel.
Yeah.
He's just being like hard on himself and like everyone around him. You know?
Yeah. So, but who knows? We'll have to see where it leads. But yeah, the Usos did end up getting the victory over the Primetime Players. Next up, we got to see Alberto Del Rio going up against Big E Langston in this two matches apiece rubber match to decide who would be the victor or get the third victory out of 5. Not a bad match. I thought both people looked strong in it. Del Rio ends up getting the victory with it was sort of like a. He had
the armbar locked in, and Big E wouldn't tap, and he rolled it up.
Yeah.
He rolled him up.
Yeah.
Match was solid, and I like the finish a whole lot. I like the pinning combination.
Yeah.
Not combination. The transition from the armbar into the.
Like, well, if you're not going to tap, I'm going to get you this way.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps Big E kind of strong because he didn't tap. He had him in it twice for more than a few seconds
They
both
had it
times.
where like you rolled him up and it looked like he was trying to get out of the pin, right?
Yeah.
And he couldn't get out in time. Haven't seen that in a while.
So he was struggling at it, but yeah. So Del Rio ends up getting the victory. Next up, we got to see Sheamus going up against Cody Rhodes, with Damian Sandow on commentary.
I don't really know where they're going with Sheamus. And is Sheamus gonna feud with the Rhodes Scholars?
I would guess he's just gonna feud with Damian Sandow, but he's got to go through Cody Rhodes first. But I don't know. It seems like every time on SmackDown they've got like a carny game for Damian Sandow to challenge Sheamus in, and then it just ends up with Sheamus giving a bro kick. I don't know.
Dude, last I don't know how many months. It's like they've always had someone new pretty quick for Sheamus.
Yeah. So he goes from person to person pretty quickly, yeah. But I don't know. What's going on with Sheamus there, Doug?
I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about it. I mean, it's weird. I don't know why every feud Sheamus has, it has to be like with a guy who's doing something other than wrestling that Sheamus has to interrupt constantly or like participate in. I don't know.
He did with Mark Henry and
Wade Barrett in his movie.
Yeah.
Look, I love the Mark Henry. I mean, the angle was stupid, but I like that Mark Henry was doing all the feats of strength stuff. Like, I don't need Damian Sandow rolling cups around with balls in it. I don't need that. I don't care.
Untwist this knot, and you will be smart. So you're welcome. Yeah. So Sheamus ends up defeating Cody Rhodes, and then he attacks Sheamus, or not Sheamus. He attacks Damian Sandow because Sandow wouldn't shake his hand. Then we get to see Triple H leaving, saying that he is going to wrestle next week, and big whoop. But then we did get to see Daniel Bryan bump into Ryback backstage, basically saying, you know, I'm not afraid of you. I'll wrestle you if I have to, and you know, Ryback basically calling him the missing, or he's going to make him the missing link because he's hungry, or he's not hungry anymore, but he rules. So there you go.
That was an awesome babyface promo from Bryan.
Yeah,
because he was just like he doesn't do the thing. Bryan doesn't do the thing where he's like, I'm gonna beat your ass. He's like, you fucked. If you underestimate me, you fucked up. Like, you're gonna pay for it, which is good. Like,
yeah,
you don't need to tell the other guy you're gonna beat the guy. You know, it's fine, especially Ryback. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was a good promo.
It was good stuff. So, and then later on, Vince McMahon announced that Curtis Axel was going to be going up against John Cena for the main event.
Put it in a super dickhead way.
Yeah, very, very much. So, he's good. Yeah, I like a good wrestler. So we're gonna have you wrestle. So next up, we got to see the Great Khali going up against Fandango. And this match, very short, ended up in a no contest after Fandango decided to leave. Miz came out and tried to cut him off at the pass, but Wade Barrett gave him the bull hammer to cut him off at the pass, which led to the next match, Miz versus Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett going up against the Miz. Not the great stuff. I mean, towards the end, Miz didn't really sell the bull hammer that he had received earlier.
Bull hockey.
Just sort of did a makeshift figure four and tapped Barrett out just like he did at WrestleMania. So
that figure four came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't really focus on the leg until it's time to put in the figure four. So
you didn't know that if you get put in there automatically, you're gonna tap.
I did not know that. I thought you had to work at it for a while, but shows what I know. Doug, what did you think?
I don't give a shit.
All right. So next up, we got to see the contract signing between Chris Jericho and Paul Heyman. This one I felt was kind of just a time burner. They were just like, well, look, we need to go out there and kind of hype this match up a little bit. Heyman was like, if you're really wanting to go into Chicago, Punk's hometown, and face him, you know that you're gonna get booed. And so Jericho's like, hey, it doesn't matter if we're wrestling in Sheboygan or wherever, we could wrestle here, and I'm still gonna prove that I'm the best in the world. So he signed the contract and shoved it down Heyman's pants, which was awkward.
Yeah,
very awkward.
Pretty much.
So it is in your pants. But next up, we got to see Caitlyn and the Funkadactyls going up against AJ and the Bellas. It's good to see them in a matchup, I guess, because it's showing off. The Funkadactyls have some wrestling ability, but there's no storyline progression. Why are these all?
Who cares? Because what you need to do when it comes out is watch the new Diva reality show on E, and then you'll know why they're fighting.
Hey, look. John Cena's dating Bella. Dana Bryan's dating Bella.
It's all good.
They're both going to be on the show because they're going to be showing off the
I'm watching
Bellas.
it. I'm
Number
watching
one
it.
face, number two face. Look, I just made my case right there.
I'm watching it. I'm watching it.
All right, and
DVR it.
Caitlyn apparently still has her secret admirer.
I will watch the show if they show them the Bellas with like their boyfriends.
Yeah.
If Dana Bryan's on the show, I will watch the show.
That'll be interesting to see. So set your DVRs, folks, for whenever that comes out. But speaking of Daniel Bryan, he came out next to go up against Ryback. Once again, just God, what a matchup! Daniel Bryan just being on fire, even after wrestling a really
Is that the
solid
best
match earlier.
match Ryback's ever been in?
Oh, well, he had another like pretty good match with Daniel Bryan also.
So
That's the
on
only
on
match-
SmackDown a few weeks
only-
back.
Only
Yeah.
person, the best match he's ever been in is with Daniel Bryan.
So does that surprise you?
No.
Okay. So, but
Khali's match with Daniel Bryan was the best too.
But yeah, so these guys, Daniel Bryan can't say enough good things. If you missed this match, go back and check it out. It ends up with Ryback being disqualified after putting Daniel Bryan through a table. But
Daniel Bryan still wins.
yeah, so Daniel Bryan does get the victory via disqualification. And they did just a really good job. Daniel Bryan did a really good job of selling the, I'm out of gas, but I'm gonna keep going. But just really good stuff, I thought. So how about you, Doug?
I mean, like I said, it's fucking Bryan. The last thing
Copy and
any
paste.
listener of this show needs is me praising Bryan more. But yeah,
But that's why they tune in.
I mean, it was a fucking great match. I mean, Bryan's awesome. I'll say it again if you need me to, but
Okay. So but yeah, so Ryback was getting ready to put Daniel Bryan through some more tables.
you were like pretty critical of Bryan a few weeks back about it. You didn't think he used enough of a variety of submissions.
Yeah.
But
I was very happy to see him use some more submissions in this matchup. So very good stuff.
I'm
think
just
they
pointing
should-
that out. Silence Bryan. I will silence Bryan critics.
Yeah, I think that is something they should definitely do in more of his matches as he continues to intensify. Like use different submissions.
Look, you don't need to use different submissions all willy-nilly.
Well, yeah.
The reason he used the single leg crab is because Ryback's a bigger dude and he was trying to take the leg out. He did a lot of leg work with a lot of kicks, and that's why he attempted the leg submission.
Yeah. So
Makes
and
sense. It's fine. Sound psychology.
And what was the
Something
other one
Orton
he
didn't know
did?
shit about.
Indian Deathlock or something
Yeah.
like that.
The leg thing.
Yeah. So, it was just
I like how he adds the elbows into that. Or the forearms. Into
yeah. But it was nice to see something newer, I guess. And I hope they continue that a little bit in the coming weeks. But Ryback was getting ready to put Daniel Bryan through some more tables like he did to Kofi Kingston on SmackDown, which they wrote him off saying that he required surgery, which he did. And he'll probably be out for a few months. So hopefully, Kofi Kingston will recover and come back strong. It's never fun to get surgery. So, but ended up Cena coming down to make the save, and then Curtis Axel came out and they got ready for their match, which was a no disqualification match. Curtis Axel versus John Cena. And I saw a lot of people, talking about the stipulation. Oh, it's a no disqualification. I was even one of them at first, and then you think about the logic of it, and it's like, well, that makes sense. But this was a no disqualification match, but the ref was counting as if to count out the opponents, and it does because you can do whatever you want just as long as you keep it in the ring. Whereas if it were no disqualification, no count out, yeah, that would make more sense. but this was strictly a no disqualification. And that's how they ended up closing it out with Ryback coming in to attack Cena and putting him through a table and giving Axel the victory via countout. So I mean, the match was fine. They used the chair a lot, and
I feel like, well, I mean, I'm not like too terribly like into Axel right now. Like I'm hoping for more, but like I feel like I keep on saying like that's how he's gonna win for a while. Stuff like this.
yeah, and
not necessarily that something's wrong with it, but it does get old.
you kind of want to see him, get his own victory, rather than taking a count out or something like that. You want to see how this guy can really hold up. So like, technically 3 victories, technically 3 countouts. So
I'll take it.
I know. I mean, yeah, I'll take a win. I'll be 3-0 and have 2 victories over Cena and 1 over Triple H. So, but eventually
next week it's gonna be 4 because he's gonna beat Triple H again.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm curious as to what they actually have planned for Curtis Axel, because it's kind of like I feel like he's in a rut already. Like once he loses like that, well, that's it. So I don't know. What do you think about this, Doug?
I mean, I kind of made my case on Curtis Axel. The match was weird. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I think it's weird to have an ODQ match end in a count out. I don't give a shit what kind of logic you try to feed me. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
I think it's a weird choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of understand why they did it, but that doesn't mean that I think it's a good idea. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. So that's pretty much how we close out Raw, getting 1 week closer to Payback. First, got some dance moves there, eh, Bear? So, but we do have some hot topics for you guys. Dolph Ziggler is now cleared to compete, so we'll be on the look for him here in the near future. Okay. Also, Rampage Jackson, Quentin Rampage Jackson, has reportedly signed a multi-year contract with Bellator as well as Impact, so he'll be making appearances on TNA here in the near future.
Which I don't know. Y'all can like say what you think about this, but that's kind of weird though, because remember when Bobby Lashley was in TNA and he was kind of doing like MMA stuff and
Going back and forth.
Yeah, and reportedly Hulk Hogan gave him a choice to either do this or that.
Yeah.
Now look what they're doing,
Well, they did the same thing with King Mo.
Yeah, but he's still with it.
Yeah.
So he picked TNA?
No, he picked both. He was given the option of both.
Yeah, but Hulk Hogan was pretty much telling him, you need to do this.
Man, it's just Lashley, but it's how it is. What are your thoughts on Rampage Jackson going to Impact there, Doug?
I always like Rampage. I think he's an entertaining dude. I mean, I think he's cool. I think he's funny. I think he's entertaining. I don't know that. I don't know how it translates to pro wrestling. I know he's a big pro wrestling fan. I think he's a Memphis dude and grew up on Memphis wrestling. I know he's a big Jerry Lawler fan, I believe. I think that's cool. I think he's probably really passionate about it, but I don't think that necessarily makes you a good wrestler. I think we just have to wait and see. Just like the King Mo stuff you said, they were totally cool with like, yeah, we'll let King Mo do both until King Mo got knocked the fuck out, and then he's not necessarily good publicity anymore, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I do like the guy, but just because I like him doesn't mean it's going to be good. I mean, who knows, Yeah. It just depends on how he turns out.
Time will tell on that one. But one other bit of hot topic news for y'all. Apparently, Ring of Honor's Prince Nana, did I say that right? Yes. Okay. Has reportedly been given a WWE tryout before Raw. So,
as a manager?
Was not said. I believe they said
he wrestles a little, but he's more known as a manager.
Yeah, I think they said he had a match before Raw, so it's sort of just a tryout kind of thing.
Oh.
But who knows? We'll have to see where they go from there. So be on the lookout if he appears.
You're listening to a special interview segment for the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Okay, folks, joining us on the show this week from Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, Kevin. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
Doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Staying busy.
Awesome. Well, we certainly do appreciate you coming on, getting ready for the upcoming Reality of Wrestling show. Going to be taking place this Saturday, 16511 Diana Lane at the Clear Lake Sports and Recreation Center in Houston, Texas, with bell time at 7:30. So far, the scheduled matches are The Pride versus Rockstar Robbie, Ruthless Ryan Davison versus Mysterious Q, AJ Summers versus Kid Ransom for the Internet Championship, the debut of Alex Reigns, and also Team International is set to be in action. So it's going to be
good rundown.
It's going to
good
be
rundown.
Yeah, thank you. It's going to be a pretty stacked card. Lots of entertainment for all the wrestling fans in the Houston area. So if you're within driving distance, definitely make plans to head on out there. So you've been in Reality of Wrestling for a while now, or Booker T's Wrestling Academy for a while now. How did you get started in that?
I was actually one of the first guys there. There was a guy at the Pride and Alex Villarreal. Me, the three of us started that whole thing. Booker opened his school with Stevie Ray, and they had a little falling out, so Booker did a reopening. I was actually out hunting that day, which, I know if you look at me, you don't see me much as a gun and hunting kind of guy, but, I was out and got a phone call from the Pride saying, hey, I just talked to Booker T on the phone, and we have a tryout at his school. So we all jumped in the car, straight from the woods, out to the car, went on a Wednesday, signed up on a Thursday. Nice. And been there ever since. I was in 2006 or 2007, so been there a long time.
Very cool. What was the thing that got you to become a fan of professional wrestling?
It was really one of my friends. I'll give him a little shout out. I grew up in Louisiana, and my friend Jared Mays. It was the night after Hulk Hogan turned heel. He came over to the house, and it hit 7 o'clock. And he was like, you have to see this. I had never watched wrestling before. I didn't even know it existed, really, 96, I think it was. And Hogan was out there. First thing I ever turned on, he's cutting a promo, just, ragging the fans. 'Cause I knew Hogan from, like, The Nanny or Mr. Nanny and, stuff like that. I mean, I knew who he was, and I was just drawn in. Ever since then, one of my claim to fame was I don't think I missed a Nitro for almost 2 years. So that was like, in grade school, it was like the coolest thing ever that, I watched wrestling every single day.
Very cool. And was that sort of the catalyst to making you want to become a wrestler? Like at that point, did you say, I want to do that? Or was it something you decided later on?
A little bit later on, but not too much longer. I started pretty young. I did martial arts my whole life. That was what I started in. I got a third-degree black belt and a couple different styles. And I was actually doing a competition, and we do demonstrations. Well, on one of the demonstration teams, we did a wrestling show. So we got in the ring, and I was a big fan. So, it was so cool. I got to get in the ring and, do a bunch of kicks and break some boards in the ring. And I talked to the promoter afterwards because I didn't know there was independent wrestling. Like, I didn't know there was, these little small groups. And I started talking to him, and he kind of gave me the, hey, we want to get some kids and start breaking them into the business very young. So it was Gabe Hollier, Alex Villarreal, his brother, which you might remember from PWA days, Jason Hollier. And we all started together, and we were 13, 14, 15, running around with all the grown-ups. So it was pretty young I started, but it's been a fun journey.
Yeah, definitely. You've definitely seen, since you said you were there sort of at the beginning of Booker T's wrestling school, you've sort of seen it grow into what it is now. And with the recent change from, PWA to Reality of Wrestling, it's become even bigger. You're getting on YouTube. You've got the website feed.com showing your stuff. So you're reaching a larger base. How does it feel knowing that fans around the world are now watching you compete in matches?
Man, it's so cool. We made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. We did PWA when we first started. The crowds were great. It was a big crowds. We were bringing in all these names. But the focal point wasn't on the local wrestlers. It was always on the big names we were bringing in. And because of that, you can't get the good exposure. You can't run TV or anything like that because a lot of these guys are under contract. And so we kind of made a conscious decision of, hey, we're going to pull away from that. We're going to focus on us, the younger guys, the guys that are coming up. And when we did that, we're like, all right, let's push this as hard as we can. We're probably going to lose some fans and just come the casual fans. But, we've been really surprised and thankful because we've grown so much because we can put it on YouTube, because we've got the name, Booker's name behind it. And he really is strenuous of who gets to be on his shows. So, we've just kind of taken from the top talent. And it's been great. I've been so surprised at all the requests and things like this, podcasts, and people that have watched our work and want to get in touch with us. So.
Yeah, definitely, and it's helped you, get name recognition going out there. It's the evolution of the arena with the types of cameras you are using now, to microphones, and even the set has improved since the first show. So it's definitely looking a lot better, and then so you get to travel around, and you've actually come down here a few times and wrestled at Gulf Coast, now Hurricane Pro. So you're going to be getting ready for to wrestle there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Doing a lot. I kind of took a step back from the indies. I say indies. Some of the other little or smaller promotions, just because I was working so hard with ROW, with Booker personally, trying to get this thing off the ground. But now that we have, I've kind of gone back. I'm having a blast going and just working all these shows. And Hurricane Pro is one of my favorite ones to go to, honestly. I've kind of stopped. I'll go to a bunch, but I'm still picky about where I take bookings. And Hurricane Pro is definitely on my top of my list because you just got a guy that has a vision. That's all I want to do. If I'm going to work somewhere, I want to be somewhere that the promoter has a vision. He's not just running a monthly show, just trying to get some extra bucks in his pocket, or so he can be a champion. Most places, the promoter is, the champion of his company, and that's why he runs almost. Mm-hmm. So it is really cool that, some of these places are actually trying to do something.
You mentioned like a lot of the other work you're doing, maybe behind the curtain with Booker, and I know just from like talking to you personally that you have a lot more responsibilities of the company than just being like in the ring. What all else are you working on for ROW?
Well, because I've been there the longest and I haven't left, a lot of the guys, Pride, this and that, they've come and gone, and they're back, and they'll leave, and they'll be back. I've kind of been there, and I've never left, and I've gotten a good relationship with Booker. We think alike wrestling-wise. So when we started with this whole ROW thing, it was kind of we talked about it, we sat down, and, he asked me if I'd be interested in, helping. So right now it's pretty much me, him, and Paul Cook. He runs the day-to-day operation. Me and Booker do the booking, talent scouting, writing the shows. I do all the production myself for the show, the editing, post-production.
It's got to be grueling.
Yeah, so I'm just, all that. We're also working on a lot of other shows. We've got some other projects, reality shows where, we've shot and, pitched out to local markets and that have nothing to do with wrestling. But, me and Booker, we started the 5X Productions. So it's just, it's been busy, but keeping me, a lot of long hours. But, I really enjoy it, and I'm really blessed that, kind of giving me and letting me run with the ball and do all the stuff that I'm doing.
Very cool. For those who may have not seen you, or this is their first exposure to you, and it shouldn't be, you guys should be watching the show on YouTube, checking it out. But can you go into your gimmick a little bit and tell people, maybe like the origins, whose idea was it, exactly what you see it as? Because I know what I take it as, but I'm real interested to see like what, from your own words, what your gimmick is.
Yeah, well, I'll go with the origin. I was just wrestling. I wrestled as the Cajun Kid for forever. I'm from Louisiana. It's born and raised, and I was doing that for the longest time. Just run around the indies, no direction, no anything. When I got with Book, within a few months, I did my first WWE show, and I was in the back, and kind of the legend goes, Triple H. I was just kind of sitting around in catering, I think. And went up to Book afterwards and was like, hey, is that one of your guys? And, they talked for a little while, and I went back to the gym the next day, and Book kind of sat me aside, and it's like, all right, you're not going to like this. I'm just going to let you know. That was his first, all right. He was like, it came from a good source, and he told me, the whole story, but he was like, Triple H saw you, and, saw you from behind. I have long hair, so I don't know me. And he was like, I'm thin, long hair. I'm not your prototypical, stereotypical wrestler. And was like, he's a big fan of Adrian Streets, and he thinks you could do maybe something similar. And so I had to go look up Adrian Streets. And Adrian Streets plays a gay gimmick. So we wanted to not just go straight, hey, it's a gay wrestler. So we kind of, played with different ideas. At first, I wrestled completely as a girl. I wrestled all the girls, dress, skirt, flamboyant, which was a shock, too, because I didn't know the first day I was going in for my first match. Book told me he had an outfit for me. That was it. So, I didn't bring any gear. I didn't do anything. And the girl that I was wrestling, she worked as a waitress, at a club. And she had a little gold mini skirt and tube top like thing. So that was my first, the Book handed it to me and said, okay, go get changed. You're up in 30 minutes. So
no time for it to sink in or anything. Just here you go, kid. You're wearing this.
Yeah, no time to sink in. No real talk about character. He was like, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going with it. Do the best you can. And it was kind of, and I know, I have no, disillusion. I'm not just, like I said, I'm not a stereotypical wrestler. So, there was no big hopes for me. It was like, hey, maybe we can get something out of him. And, luckily it just took off, because of, the fans in the building. That was all they talked about the next day. And, I went out the next time, there's big Kelly Kevin chants everywhere. And, and Book was just, as surprised as anybody. But it worked, and, I thank Triple H every time, thank you for at least, taking the time out to, to look at me and think of something. But, yeah, that's kind of where it started. I really don't like to get too much into what it is. Obviously, I'm all in pink and running around flamboyant. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a gay gimmick. I'm more just, I think I'm pretty, and I want to have fun. And it's almost like Pat. I don't know if you've ever seen Pat from Saturday Night Live, where you almost don't even know. Like, is it a girl? Is it a guy? Is it gay? Is it straight?
So you leave it really ambiguous on purpose?
What'd you say?
So you like to leave it, like, really ambiguous on purpose?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Okay.
Sometimes when I'm wrestling girls, I'll wrestle girls and I'll dress a certain way. If I'm wrestling guys, I'll dress a certain way and do certain things. Just kind of let the fans kind of come to their own conclusion of what they want it to be.
That's really cool. I do have a question for you. As far as you did mention some intergender matches that you've done, and I've personally seen you wrestle like intergender matches, and I really like to get your take on it because, it's 2013. We're at a push for like human rights and equality between men and women. And I know a lot of like professional wrestling companies, like, they are real stuck in the past. It's almost like if they do it, a few do it properly. Like, people like Chikara have always like presented it like as not a big deal. It's just competitor A versus competitor B. But a lot of these companies, they almost like want to almost like fetishize it, where it's like a woman being beaten, or either that, or they're not presented as an equal to a man. And what's your take on all that and the dynamic of doing intergender? Because I find it really, I think we're at like a point in time where we're like pushing the barrier forward, like in general, in wrestling in general, but there's still some people out there that I don't think are presented in a great light. And just what's your take on all that?
Yeah, I really work very hard. People that know me know that, psychology is such a big deal to me. And once I started getting into the character stuff, because I'm not the biggest guy, I really had to start thinking about, when I'm wrestling guys, what can I do to them? What can I do to them? How can we make this make sense? To where we can have a back and forth and really good match. I do the same with girls, and that's kind of where I learned it, because I do believe that, it is good if you can just go out there and have a good match with a girl, and not worry about how it, you don't have to make it comedy. You don't have to, but you really do have to, guys and girls are built different. If I put, John Cena in there against the best girl wrestler, still John Cena should kick her ass, if he punches her in the face, she should be pretty hurt. So it is kind of hard to put on a guy-girl match. With my character, luckily, I can get away with a lot more. I'm not a huge guy. I've seen some companies do it really well. I've seen some companies do it really badly. I might not be on the same page with you that, you should just be able to have a guy-girl match, just go out there and, just wrestle and have, a full-on match just because, like I said, the dynamics of, a guy's body versus a girl's body, if you put the best UFC fighter in there against the best woman UFC fighter, more than likely the guy's going to kick her ass. Maybe that's sexist on my part. But, there is a way to do it, though, and I have seen it done well. But it is a really tricky and hard match to put on. But I will say that in all defense, some of the girls that I've gotten to work have just been phenomenal. Of course, there are a lot of girls in the business that maybe shouldn't be, but I can say that about guys too. I was really lucky that whenever I started doing the gimmick, Booker was always bringing in name people to the shows. So a lot of times I was getting to work the name girl wrestlers. And it was great. It was a great experience. And I do love, I've got a show, CWF Houston. No, I'm doing CWF Houston where I just wrestled a girl. And there's another one in Houston. I think it's Third Coast Wrestling or something. I'm sorry for the company for not knowing the name yet. It's my first show over there, and I'm wrestling Jenelise and Jordan. So it should always be fun. I love working the girls, so.
Very cool. And no, I mean, I definitely wouldn't take what you said as sexist. I do think there are different beliefs, and I just think that, like, if presented right, it can just be competitor A versus competitor B. But if done poorly,
completely.
Then right,
completely. And there's some girls that I've seen. I love her just because we've worked so much together. But I've seen Jessica James or Poison go in there and do some amazing matches with guys just because she knows how to wrestle that match. She knows to do the quick versus. It's a small man. It's just like you put Rey Mysterio versus Big Show. It's the same dynamic of a match,
right.
But guy versus girl. They just have to know how to work it. When I see some girls go out there and want to, trade punches or trade forearms when they're wrestling a guy, it kind of, you really have to suspend your disbelief in that, versus a girl ducking 10 punches and finally, and kicking the guy in the face. I can believe that.
Right.
So if done right, I'm all about it.
Oh, very cool. I just this has been on my mind a lot lately. Just I've been watching a lot of intergender stuff, and I think you're like the perfect person to get that perspective from. I appreciate it. Oh,
no problem. And like I said, hopefully we'll be doing some soon because I guess we'll break it here. We are starting a women's division and really going to, push it hard at ROW.
Oh, very cool.
We've had a few in the past, but we've been out scouting. We've gotten some really good talent down at the gym now that's training with us. So it's kind of we haven't really done a big announcement on it yet. So I guess it's going to be the first that we are about to start pushing a women's division, so we will have some good diva action going on at ROW.
Very cool.
Right. Nice. Definitely happy to hear that. Will we get to see that kickoff on this coming weekend, or will it be at a
We will.
show?
We will have a women's match in this weekend. We had one of our first serious ones at the last show between Mrs. Bates and Raina. At this coming up show, we have some more. We haven't announced it yet what it's going to be, but it will be there, and you will have some divas in action. And starting, the next month, we're going to keep it going. And we've got in the future, titles coming and everything else. So we're going to really try and start and do a full-blown women's division again, like we did at ROW. Like I said, we had a nice little run for a minute. Some people left, so we kind of, cooled it down. But we're going to kick it back up and see how it goes.
Very cool. Well, we definitely look forward to that. We're definitely going to look forward to seeing everybody out at Reality of Wrestling. Once again, it's going to be taking place this weekend out at 16511 Diana Lane, Clear Lake Sports and Recreation Center in Houston, Texas. Again, bell time is going to be at 7:30. Go to realityofwrestling.com for more kinds of information on that. You can also check them out on Facebook, searching Reality of Wrestling. We certainly do appreciate you coming on. And
well, before we let you go, I mean, plug anything else that you'd like to plug. Twitter, personal Facebook.
Yeah,
anything.
I have my Twitter. It's KK_/BURN Burn, and my Facebook. Kevin Bernhardt. That's my real name. I'll throw that out there. I don't care too much. Search me on Facebook, Twitter. We've got a lot of big stuff coming up. You talked about the stage that we do at ROW and the cameras. We just went to HD.
Nice.
So this coming up show will be our first release of HD. We're building a whole new stage coming up in the next few months. So we're just trying to pick things up. We're going on the road finally with Reality of Wrestling. So, we're trying to do a lot of big things. We really love the support everybody's given us. So many people have helped us out. Y'all have helped us out doing commercial work with us, which we really appreciate that.
Hey, no problem.
It's just, everything in this business is just, helping each other out. And, we're very against the idea of, competing with people. And if you work here, you can't work with us. And, this is independent wrestling. At the end of the day, this is independent wrestling.
Right.
And we all love doing what we do. And if we can help each other out, we always will. So, whether you work for this company or that company, as long as you want to learn and you want to get better, we want to have you. So that's kind of our philosophy around here.
Absolutely, and we are more than welcome to help anytime. Any kind of breaking news you ever want to get out, make sure you can come to us, and we'll help you out any way we can. Kelly, Kevin, it's certainly been a pleasure. We certainly do appreciate you coming on.
Oh man, thank you guys.
And we'll keep in touch. We'll see you at the next show.
All right, sounds good. See you soon.
All right.
This is Booker T, 5-time WCW champion. You listen to WNS podcast. Now, can you dig that, sucker?
It's always nice to have a guest from Reality of Wrestling on the show. Go and check them out on Facebook and all that. So thank you, Kelly, Kevin, for being on the show. If you happen to be in the Houston area, go and check it out. We'll definitely head on out there. And now it's time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions and our answers. First question coming to us from Thomas. Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
This question is not just to...
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Yeah.
Thomas says, this question is not just to Daniel, Tyler, and Doug, but to anybody who is reading it and feels that they can guide me. Should I get the Nintendo Wii U? What do you think about it?
Let's ask the guy who has
the one person of the group who does have the Nintendo Wii U, being Doug.
I have a lot of fun with it. I'll shoot straight with you. There aren't enough quality games to play. There are a lot of ports, but they seem like what's been ported is supposedly better on whatever systems they were ported from. Because Wii U still pretty new and they're not quite great at developing for it yet, or whatever the fuck they have to do when they port something. I don't know, but supposedly there are a lot of frame rate issues on some of those ports. I don't know. I haven't played a single game that was a port from another system. I've played all exclusives for the Wii U, and I'll tell you what, there's really not a great variety of games that are worth playing out there right now.
I guess just give it time, huh?
But at the same time, I'm not a guy who has a lot of free time to play a lot of games. So the games that I've been able to purchase have been fine for me. I've played Zombie U, which is a really good game. I'd vouch for that. I played Lego City Undercover, which I really, really loved, and I will super vouch for that. Played a little bit of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. It's kind of hard to get into. I don't really have the time to devote to that. And now I'm playing Lego Batman 2, the DC superheroes one, which I realize is a port, but that's the only port I played. But look, man, it's just up to you and how much disposable income you have. I am a Nintendo guy. I've owned almost every Nintendo system. It's just what I grew up with. I have a big soft spot in my heart for Zelda. I have a big soft spot in my heart for Metroid. I think I've played all the Mario games I need to play in my life. I don't really look forward to Mario anymore, but I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for, you know? I think the touchscreen is fun. I don't think it's like anything to lose your mind over, but it's pretty cool. And if you don't need like to play, 20 games right now, then I think it's something that's worth. I mean, hell, I was out with the flu for about a week, and I watched the Xbox One reveal. That's some scary shit.
Yeah.
I don't need an always on camera in my living room.
Yes, you do.
Recording in my heartbeat.
Big brother's watching you. Hey, you could do you could do a sexy webcam for the people.
What are you doing with your hand, Doug?
Look.
I'm cutting my steak.
Look, Xbox One, some of that privacy shit scares the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know that we need all that.
Technology.
They're gonna see what they have in your house.
Hey, look, Xbox One sounds scary as shit.
They pretty much shot themselves in the foot on that one.
Probably.
Like, goodbye, hardcore gamers. If you want to borrow your friend's game, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah. That also eliminates stuff from GameStop too, buying stuff.
Well, look, all their big game shit's gonna come at E3. That was that was not their reveal to the gamers. That was their reveal to like the general audience. And that's not what they were focused on. But yeah, I think there is a lot of reason to be alarmed about Xbox One. I'd probably still buy one because I'm fucking stupid. But
fucking Skynet.
You have to transfer all of your games onto the core system.
Fucking Skynet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, man, hey, it's how important Nintendo first-party software is to you. If first-party software from Nintendo is important to you, then I say you got to get the system. If you need Mario, if you need Zelda, and if you need Metroid, if you need Smash Brothers, if you need Mario Kart, then you need a Wii U. If those games are shit that you're interested in, you need them. I mean, I only really need Zelda and Metroid, but that's enough for me. I'm looking forward to the Wonderful 101, which doesn't have a release date, but looks fucking badass. Like, I don't give a shit about Pikmin. I've never played Pikmin. But this is described as Pikmin with superheroes, and it looks badass. Like, every time they try to fucking shill some pre-order shit from me whenever I go to GameStop, they're like, do you need this? It's like, fuck no. Do you have a release date for a Wonderful 101? And they're like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. I was like, then shove it up your ass and check me out.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm just kidding. I know that if you work at GameStop, I'm sorry. I know that's your job. I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying.
I would say hold off until E3. Just to see what kind of games are going to be coming out.
When is E3?
They're not doing a big. Nintendo's not doing a big E3 thing.
Well.
They're just going to have a booth for people to play games. Nintendo is doing their own conference. They're not battling it out with the big boys at E3.
And I would just wait out for that then, and seeing what kind of big announcements they're going to be making for the Wii U. Because I felt like the release for the Wii U fell really flat.
You don't need to wait for an announcement. You know what's coming.
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros.
The Donkey Kong.
Smash Brothers is on the way. Zelda's on the way. Zelda's on the way in a long time, but they're working on it.
Yeah.
They're working on Mario's on the way. Supposedly a sequel to Mario Galaxy. Well, not a sequel, but like a spin-off or whatever. All that Nintendo shit is on the way. Mario Kart's on the way.
New Mario Kart probably.
Yeah. Mario Party.
Yeah. Mario Party 13.
Look, they can't compete with PS4 or Xbox when it comes to graphics and all that shit. They just can't. But like, it's all about first party software. If that's important to you, if Nintendo IP is important to you, of course you need a Wii U. What the fuck else? How else are you gonna get the IP?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Them eliminating discs bums me out.
I'm a total physical media guy. I don't like the idea. Like I will not buy any subscription service to where your cloud's storing my shit that whenever you feel like shutting it down, then I don't own that shit anymore. I'm never gonna do it. I'm not.
If something happens and like your progress and stuff in your games get wiped out somehow,
all it takes is one hacker.
I still buy DVDs, motherfucker. I don't. Fuck your MP4. Give it to me on a fucking physical format. Fuck your MP4s.
Yeah.
There you go. So. Hopefully that helped out, Thomas. And if not, well, thanks for listening at least. Final question coming to us from Andrew, a.k.a. Wife Swap.
Oh. Sorry, man.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Swap it good. So, Andrew asks, in Cardiff, I believe, or Cardiff, I don't know how to.
Cardiff, son.
What, dude? I've never been there. I'm sorry. In Cardiff, we have some people that are local celebrities for obscure reasons, and on our Facebook page, he gives some examples. But he asks, are there any local celebrities in your area that are only famous for strange reasons?
Skullman? Does that count ever?
Who's Skullman?
The guy who rides the lowrider tricycle with
There's actually two
Skullman
different
on the
ones.
back. Well, there's like Skullman and there's the kid guy who also is a Skullman.
The kid guy.
I know nothing about this.
Since you don't know Skullman,
Nope.
One of them
he
is
was infamous
Skullman.
when I was in high school. God, a long time ago.
The other
I think
guy's
he
name is
bought.
Trey.
Okay, yeah. But Skullman was like I think he had a mental disability. He was a slower guy. He rode this like little tricked out tricycle lowrider bike with like a big flag on the back, and he had like Skullman.
Oh, Trey?
No, Trey's the other one.
Oh, okay.
Trey is like the successor to Skullman. He's
Oh,
like
okay.
Skullman. He's like El Hio de Skullman. But like I can only imagine people called him Skullman because he would buy Skull for kids. I don't know. Do you know why they call him Skull?
Nope.
Ever since I was in high school, there was Skullman. I don't know.
He comes up to the school district at times because he knows the guy who works up there, and he'll go talk to
Skullman
him.
or the kid one?
Skullman.
Okay. He's not like famous though. He's not like on the news and shit.
But
He-
people know of him.
But people know who he is because he has a bike that says Skullman on the back.
Wow.
Is there anyone else besides like Skullman?
Well, our area sucks as far as
we live in a
stuff like that.
we live in a pretty small town.
The only like you have to go to like Austin or San Marcos or something.
Austin,
like that.
doesn't they have that naked cowboy guy?
Oh, that's New York.
Oh, fuck, fine.
But there is
He's no Skullman.
There's no Skullman.
let's see. There are some people who go to like some of the comic conventions who are pretty well known.
Oh, the Swingers.
Oh, the Swingers. Well, that's
That's
for-
not famous.
for Noah.
That's only we know the swingers.
But like there's
No one really knows
there are
them.
two guys who dress up like pixies and they give out free hugs. They're pretty well known.
Oh.
I don't know those guys.
They've
I know
got-
of
they-
them.
They even have their own Facebook page.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, look
so
it up. He's looking up now.
yeah, go to Comic Palooza or something. Check that out. There's
What did I look up?
I don't remember their names.
Pixie guys with hugs.
Well, yeah, but they have names, but I can't remember them at the moment. But yeah, we don't really have any local celebrities and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
we got Danny Ray.
Yeah, that's right. What of it? So there you go. Thanks for the questions. Submit your questions. Send on over to our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, also our YouTube
Come
page.
on, we gotta come up with somebody besides
Video.
Skullman.
Maybe Starvin' Marvin,
Who the fuck is Starvin' Marvin?
guy who owns Starvin' Marvin's.
Who the hell is he? I mean, what does he do besides own Starvin' Marvin's?
Oh, he wears a hat.
Does it say Starvin' Marvin on it?
No,
What kind of a hat?
pretty nice hat.
It's a it's a nice hat.
It's just Skullman. And Trey.
Skull. We should get him a little sign that says El Hijo de Skullman. He's not his son, is he?
No.
He got a bike just like Skullman though.
Yeah.
Do they know each other?
I have no clue, but he did go to school. He was like 3 grades ahead of me.
Yeah, he graduated with me.
And this is pointless, but well.
Yeah,
He
we're
was-
still recording. It's cool.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
When I was in high school, he was walking around. He had a cell phone, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to this cool party tonight," and pull out this phone. It's like this guy named Juju. He's like, "Hey, Juju, I'm coming to your party." I was like, "Hey, I don't have a battery in that phone." he just keeps on going. It didn't have a battery in the phone. I don't know who he's talking to.
That's sad. I know what that place is. It used to be next to the Vortex.
Yeah, it's just right down the road.
Oh, the Vortex used to be just down the road.
That way, yeah.
Heard they got closed down for. Never mind.
For legal purposes, we can.
Redacted. Yeah, but
For the record,
that traded's kind of slow, right?
that Cree Harrison lady from American
He's not?
Idol.
No, he just has trouble walking.
Okay.
She was from our area.
What?
That Cree Harrison lady from American Idol. She was like the top
Lady,
lady.
she's younger than
Ah,
you.
who gives a fuck?
She's a lady.
No one cares about that.
All right.
That's not a famous person.
Rome of Tracy Bird, Janis Joplin.
UGK motherfuckers from
Yeah.
Port Arthur.
Tyler A.
Janis Joplin.
Underground WNS podcast.
Oh, who was the actor?
Did you say Janis Joplin?
I did say Janis Joplin, but I'm talking about the actor, the male actor. He was. Damn it, I can't remember. There are a few famous people.
Yeah, but he
lived
wants
here.
people that are famous for no good reason.
Yeah.
Just Skullman.
Yeah, we don't really have one. We don't have any. I don't know. Not that I know. I'm so out of touch with the people of this town.
The people around here suck. We try to avoid
They
talking
really
to.
do.
We don't. We try not to talk to anyone.
You roll the window. You roll the windows up and lock the doors around here. That's about as far.
Yeah,
as
guy, I
it
don't
goes.
want to talk to him.
Yeah. So so there you go. But thank you for the question. Like I said, post your questions onto our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, our YouTube page, WNS Video. Also check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast and newly added
Stitcher.
Stitcher. Subscribe
And if you
to our
know what
show
the
on
real,
Stitcher.
if you know what the real deal is with Skullman, tell us because we don't. We just know who. Yeah.
And the real deal, Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, someone like from New York. Oh yeah, Skullman. Yeah,
we
we know
got,
about him.
we got a few people locally that listen.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe Noah knows. Let's ask Noah.
Well, that's Noah. Who Skullman is. Yeah. He's a skull.
I know who Skullman is. I just don't know why he's Skullman.
Well,
Either
ask
because he
around.
dips or he illegally bought children skull.
Skull.
I'm going with the latter.
So yeah, Stitcher, search Wrestling News Source Podcast.
WNS Podcast on Twitter, and for the main site, WN Source.
There you go.
Hey, leave us a review on Stitcher and on iTunes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Most
would appreciate
certainly.
that.
We certainly would. So there you go. For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
Doug.
We'll catch you all next week.